positive words or positive sentences. Did you guys realize that as riders we cannot go for longer than 11 seconds without talking to ourselves? That's just how interesting we are. And when we do speak to ourselves, we can speak at 300 words a minute. Did you guys realize that in the span of every single day we say to ourselves an average of 16,000 words to ourselves? We just can't stop yapping. It's all about talking to ourselves, all right? Now, what we need to do is we need to figure out ways to make the words that we say to ourselves positive. So here comes two or three really cool little pieces of homework that I want you to use when it comes to training positive words. The first one is this. Instead of doing what the books tell us to do, and all books will tell us to do this, whenever feeling nervous or tense, repeat a positive sentence to yourself. So let's say you're not feeling very good, you're nervous, you're tense. The book will tell you to do this. Repeat these words. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. And in time, if you repeat those words to yourself, be careful what you wish for, you might just get. Y'all see how that can happen? Now, I think it's a good idea, but I have this one crazy rider, and she proved to me that there might be a better way of saying our sentence. What sounds better to you when she does it? She goes, I feel good, I feel good. What sounds better to you? That way or this way, the way my rider goes. She's like, I feel good. So she's always singing, right? Like this girl is always singing. So one day, her horse is like really slow. I'm like, come on, move the horse, get him in front of you, like push the horse. And she's like, all right. Well, like to move it, move it. Move it. She's always singing. She's always coming up with songs, right? The other day was the coolest thing. She sent me a Facebook tag of a helmet cam video going cross country, right? Have you all seen the helmet cam videos yet? Okay, so super cool. So this rider's going cross country. She's like, Coach Stewart, thank you for telling me about singing. It's really making a big difference, right? So I'm watching her helmet cam video, and she's on course. And she tends to get a little bit tentative as a rider. So she's on course, you can see the ears, you know, forward, you can see her hands, and all of a sudden she's like, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. For 4.5 minutes, she went beginner novice, and she sang reggae the whole time out loud. And she sang it out loud. And then a couple of months ago at the WEG was the coolest thing, and I don't know who it is because he was so far away I couldn't see him. There was this massive monster corner at the WEG, okay? A rider, and I saw him in the corner of my eye, he's approaching this, and he's like, bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? We come for you. And he's screaming this song out loud. Or he could be like this, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good. Can you guys hear the difference? Guess what your first piece of homework is? I want you all to come up with a playlist for yours. I want you all to come up with a song or song that gets you in a good mood. Do y'all believe this can get you in a good mood? Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Do y'all see what happens with that? You guys all agree with me that music can pull some really good emotion out of it. Like you can wake up really tired, and then you hear your favorite song like Party Rock Anthem, and then you're like, oh yeah, let's go. Okay? Music pulls this stuff out of us, and we know that. So you know what we're asking you to do? We're asking you now to pull that great stuff out of you by using music, but doing it on command. Like literally saying to yourself, I'm a little bit nervous now, so I'm going to sing a song you took to myself. So I'll give you an example. Up until recently, my favorite song was Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. You know that song? Today's going to be a good, good day. Like any day with the horse is bound to be a good, good day, right? Okay? Now listen carefully. I made a mistake, okay? I made a big mistake, all right? I love that song so much that I made it my ringtone. Okay? You know what's going to happen now, right? After 3 weeks of hearing that song day after day after day, guess what? Yeah, you're bad. Okay? So guess what? Here's the bad news, guys. When you get that song that you love, when you get that song and just, oh my gosh, that's the one. Guess what we need to do with it? We need to remove it from our regular playlist. We make an equestrian playlist and we remove it. You know why? Because we're going to remove it because one day we're going to really need it. So when is that day? Maybe that day is when you drive up to the venue and you start looking at it and you start to doubt yourself. Oh my gosh, everybody's riding so well. What do? You don't just turn it on, you turn it up. And now you're like, you're like, yeah, let's get it. Let's go for it. Remember the Olympics, what's the name of the swimmer? Phelps? Yeah, Phelps. I dare you to try this. Look at all of his tapes. You will never ever find a second when Phelps is not listening to music on the floor. When he's warming up, he's here. He's got his iPod going, and he's listening to music. You know why? Because he knows that he must have 100% focus. He must be distraction-proof. You can't be wondering what that swimmer over there is doing or who that is over there. Well, he uses the music to focus his energy. Okay? So anyways, when you come up with your great song, I want you to remove it from your and then only listen to it when you really need it. Okay? So that used to be my favorite song. Now I've got 3 new favorites. Here we go. They're by some very well-known dental coaches. The first one is named Lady Gaga. So listen to the words. Okay, so listen to the lyrics of "Born This Way" by Lady Gaga. Don't hide yourself in regret. Just love yourself when you're set. You're on the right track, baby. You were born this way. Katy Perry, Fireworks. It's always been inside of you. Now it's time to let it through because you're a firework. Come on, show them what you're worth. It's really cool. My favorite, One Republic, Good Life. When you're happy like a fool, let it take you over. When everything is out, you have to take it in. Oh, this is going to be a good day. How cool is that? So guys, or we could say, I feel good. Do you hear the difference, you guys? So guess what? Here's your first piece of homework. What is your song? What is so, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go and I want you to listen to your playlist. I want you to listen to the music. Then, here comes, the homework's a little more complete than you think. Find one of your favorite songs. Then I want you to Google the lyrics and see if you can come up, so Google the lyrics and see if you can come up with a song that has some really meaningful, okay, what do you share with the class? Come on.
They liked a lot, that's like, your song better not be you by that young.
Oh, come on! You're a good enough song, right? But perhaps not what we're looking for. Oh, man. Hey, bad girl. Alright, so when you see what we're doing here, oh no, wait a second, that reminds me. Oh, okay, it's a funny story, totally not related, but a mother and a daughter, this was weird. A mother and a daughter, they were hauling home from a horse show, and they were in the Midwest, and they hit a massive storm. Like this massive storm, the trailer would get rocked and left, and they were singing that song. And it was making them laugh. They were dying. They're driving down, and there was the two of the mom and the daughter were, and they just said they started singing louder, and they turned it up, and it put them in a good mood. So you know what? Maybe it's not so bad. Now, so this is the important thing. When you get your songs, you can come up with one, or you can come up with a playlist. This is what we encourage you to do. Come up with songs for different occasions. Maybe you go cross country, you need to pump yourself up. So I like to move and move, and then that would be a good one because it pumps you up. But what happens when you go to dressage and you need to sort of chill a little bit? One of our riders from the song, you know the lazy song, Bruno Mars? The lazy song? So whenever she gets like too hyped, she's like, hey, I don't feel like doing anything. And you know what? And like, just calm, you still have to calm her down. So the idea here is we know music pulls greatness out of us. We need to identify what greatness we need pulled out of us. Is it motivating? Is it energy? Is it relaxed? Then come up with songs that meet each of those. Then the next time you need it, instead of saying, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good, plug it in, turn it on, turn it up. Do you see what we're doing? Guys, this is real homework. At the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, every time I go there, this is the same conversation we have. The conversation is, what did we do before high falls? We don't know what we did today, folks. Anyways, there's your first piece of homework. Second piece of homework is this. Many of us know this one already, all right? Did you guys realize that, you know this because I see it about one. But for the people that weren't here, the letter C is considered the most positive letter in the English language. The reason is because it starts the greatest number of positive words, okay? So for example, I could say to myself, oh my gosh, everybody's watching, I hope I do well. Or I could say to myself, today's going to be awesome because I'm calm, cool, collected, confident, courageous, centered, capable, careful, competitive, consistent, conscientious, content, and cute. There we go. And I got this rider. Every time she turns, like, I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm crazy. Okay. Over every bit. But you know what that rider's doing? She's using her little C tool to help her focus on the positive. Okay? And I really believe this, guys. And I swear you guys proved it again today. There's so many great sports psychology techniques out there, but I really believe the best ones are the ones that we remember. Like there could be the world's greatest tool, but if you can't remember it, it doesn't really help us out, okay? I think I told you guys this. In Wisconsin, I taught annual clinics like I'm going to do with you guys. A year after I taught them the letter C, I drive back into the parking lot, and riders run out to the parking lot, and they're like, wow, Coach Stewart, what a cool, clean, colorful car you have. Okay? And then it proved to me that a year later they were still thinking of the letter C, just like you guys with your dog. Okay? A couple months ago, I taught another group, and when I arrived in the morning, they had put, it was the neatest thing, on the indoor arena, there was like 40 or 50, poles holding it up. Every pole had a white piece of paper with a C word on it. And as you're riding around, it's just paper after paper after paper, everyone had a C word on it. And they totally cheated because like kind was one, like C-I-N-D, but they were creative, they figured it out, that was another one. So we talked about this last time. Riders, whenever you make an effort to think in a positive way, but you're struggling, I want you to take out like a little invisible dictionary and come up with some C emotions that describe you. So guess what? Here's some more. What are 3 C emotions that describe you or the you that you would love to become? Let's say that you are not very confident in general. Okay, normally you're not very confident. Then one of your C emotions could be confident. And then what you're going to do is you're going to repeat them to yourself all day. The whole point of this is called the ABCs of riding. Always believe your C's. Always believe your C's. I'm calm, cool, and confident. I'm calm, cool, confident. I'm calm, cool, confident. You see what you're doing? So come up with 3 C words, and then I want you to always believe your C's. Always believe your C's. So far, here's your homework. I want you to come up with some songs, and I want you to come up with 3, and only 3 C words, okay? 3 C words for now. Come up with some great ones that you believe you really are, or that you believe you would love to achieve. All right? Now, this next one is something we have not talked about in the past. This is a new one, okay? And I think perhaps this is one of the most important of all, okay? This is called a pre-competition ritual. A ritual is something you do anytime you feel yourself getting nervous. And when you do that, when you feel nervous and you do this thing, it makes you feel better, okay? It's a little bit of a weird example, but I want you to listen carefully because I think it'll help you to really understand. Then we'll take it to riding. Have you guys ever watched a basketball player, like an NBA basketball player? Have you ever seen him do this? He has to shoot a free throw. There's like 30 seconds left in the game. The whole game is coming down to this. All this pressure is on him. He's standing there. He's looking at the hoop. The backboard is glass. Behind the glass, he can see 20,000 screaming fans booing at him, waving noodles and shirts and stuff.
Nice.
Okay, nice. What are they trying to? Are they trying to distract him? Are they trying to take his confidence away? Just a little. Guess what that basketball player is trained to do? He's trained to do a ritual. Every time he feels that somebody's trying to rob him of his concentration, he's training himself to do this. He goes, all right. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. Shoot. You ever seen that? You ever seen anybody in the sport do that? Okay. Guess what? That basketball player has told himself, every time I feel that I'm losing confidence, I'm going to do this one little thing. And that bounce, 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 we studied it. He will do that same routine to the split second every single time. Now, understand this. If I'm the referee and I say, hey, stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. Might that guy be in trouble now? You know why? Because I've taken away the thing that he's using to gain the thought that he's in control. So it's called a pre-competition ritual. Tennis players use it all the time. They go, bounce, 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 and then they'll start. They use it every single time because they know they need to focus their focus, all right? So how do we do this as riders? I really encourage all of us to come up with a pre-competition routine. So let me give you a couple of really cute ideas, all right? One rider, she had a tendency to get really frustrated with her horse. Like she would, like immediately when he did something a little bit wrong, she would like, get mad at him. She understood that she didn't like that, she wanted to overcome it. You know what she does now? Every time she feels herself getting a little bit mad, you know what she does? She reaches over, she draws a heart on his neck. And that's it. And that drawing of a heart on her neck reminds her to continue loving him, even though he may be good or bad or whatever it is. And she goes, sometimes when I have leisure time, I'll just color it in, So her pre-competition routine is when I get nervous, I draw a little heart. Another rider says, whenever I get nervous, I take a deep breath and I kiss my horse right on the mouth. That's what she said. Right on the mouth. I just think that's so cool, okay? I have another rider. She has a great face, so when she gets nervous, she takes her St. Christopher's medallion out and she just rubs it. And then she repeats a sentence. It's a biblical sentence like, God believes in me, therefore I believe in myself. Something along those lines. I'm sure God said it much better than me, but that was a little just okay. But when she gets nervous, she just rubs the medallion. So that's her ritual, okay? My favorite of all. Earlier this summer, I spent 2 or 3 weeks in Alaska teaching clinics all the Alaska area for right? There's a rider in Alaska that has the world's greatest pre-competition ritual, okay? Apparently, on her horse's face, right on the end of his nose, is a little white dot. Okay, and when she gets nervous, she pretends that that's the stop button, and she pushes it, she goes, boink, like right in his nose, right? So I'm like, how does that work? And she's like, okay, well, this happened. She goes, one day I woke up and my horse was so great, you know, it's going to be a beautiful day, we're going to go to the show. Okay, get in the trailer, come on, in you go. Oh, come on, please get, quit fooling around. Get in the trailer, come on, get in the trailer, please get in the trailer, get in the trailer. Mom, we won't get in the trailer, how can you get in the trailer? Finally, the things in the trailer, now they're starting to have Mom, drive faster. I can't drive faster, can't you see? Please drive faster, take me away. They get to the horse, come on, where's my helmet, where's my helmet? Is that right in trouble?
Yeah.
Did she feel a little out of control?
Yeah.
Guess what she does? She takes a deep breath, goes to the front of the horse. That's the stop button. How cool is that? That's the stop button. She tells herself every time she starts to feel out of control, every time the nerves start to get to her, every time she gets frustrated or rushed, she takes a deep breath and she pushes the stop button. And then she rides, you know, then she dismounts and she pushes the start button again, you know, like that. But you know what she's done? She's figured out a way that takes 1 second to regain her focus. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? The horse doesn't load, they get there, they're trapped, they can't find the helmet. The 3 seconds it takes to push that button does not make the difference between entering the class or not entering the class. You all agree? But the 3 seconds that she takes will make all the world's difference. Whether or not she enters the class with focus or the time. So anyways, more homework, you guys. What is your, does anybody have one? When did you do like something quirky or weird?
I braid tail.
Oh, you know what? That's really neat. And doesn't the braiding tail kind of calm you down a little tiny bit? One of my riders, she will braid the tail while she's there. She's tense and she's tight, and she and she did this really recently, and it was cute because I saw her. She, I could see her watching the rider in front, and she was getting like a little bit nervous, and then she just reached over and she just braided like two, three strands of neighbor right there. It was the neatest thing. She did right that. That's hers. She just braids it right there, and that's her pre-competition ritual. She braids the main, well, not the main. The actual, just right down here where she can reach. Anybody else do anything weird? Well, then you have homework, don't you? What do you think? In a really soft spot? Yeah. And she won't try to get you. Okay, now here is a rule when it comes to the pre-competition ritual. The best pre-competition rituals are those that are repeatable. Okay, so the reason I love all of these stories, the push button, the drawing of the heart, the braiding of the tail, the kissing of the soft spot. The reason I like all of these is because they're completely repeatable. Now, what happens if that rider with the St. Christopher, what happens if she forgets her medallion and she gets really nervous and she goes to, might she get a little tiny bit of trouble? Because she can't repeat it. What happens if you get a massive 18-2 high on a horse and you can't kiss the soft spot? No, the idea here is just to make sure that your routines are repeatable. Like the basketball player, he can always bounce the ball because it must always be with him when he's going to shoot a free throw. So it's really important that when we get our rituals, that they're repeatable. Okay? Don't say to yourself, all right, every time I get nervous, I'm going to eat s'mores. Okay? Because you don't want to fire, you don't want to chop, you know what I'm saying? It's not repeatable. But I like the quirkiness. I even like that song. You know why? I like it because it makes us laugh. And part of this is, it's important. We have to remember to laugh and to have fun and finding energy. So I'm okay with that. Here comes your homework. Ready? 3 C emotions, a song, and a pre-competition ritual. This next one, some of us have heard before. Maybe the most important one of all, so listen really carefully. The next one is called memory motivation. What it means is this. When we get nervous or tense or doubt ourselves, okay, when we say things like, well, everyone's better than me, when we get to there, what I want you guys to do is take a deep breath and remember an amazing memory from your past. An amazing memory so great that it motivates you. That's what I call memory motivation, okay? So for example, it would sound like this. You're talking to your coach and you say to your coach, man, everybody's riding so well. Oh man, I think I'm going to struggle today. Your coach would then go, okay, hey, wait a second. Remember 2 weeks ago at that last rally, and you guys were great. You came together, and at the end of the day, it all worked out. And you worked hard, and it was awesome, and you proved to yourself that you're great. You know what the coach just did? The coach just reminded you of a memory that makes you feel more confident in the present. So So it's called memory motivation. I think I told some of you the story about horse surfing. Did I tell you guys the horse surfing? So this is the way it goes. I lived in Andalusia, Spain up until a couple of years ago, the hottest place on the face of the earth. And this is what I figured out. You can take a big fat Andalusian out into the ocean, okay? And if he's big enough to have that, you can actually turn him around and surf that sucker in. It's really cool, right? Okay? So you go out, you can barely touch the bottom anymore, right? You look back, the wave comes in, you grab the mane, and you go, right? And I had this mare, Chelsea. She loved horse surfing. She got like 4 or 5 waves in a row. Then she'd go to knee-deep water and she'd just start rolling. And I'm like, oh, I'm still on your back. Wait. Now to me, that memory was so amazing, so powerful, that even if I've been on flights for 36 hours, across 9 time zones, taught in 2 countries, 11 cities, and 10 days, even though I'm tired, where can I go to motivate myself? Where do I go to pump myself up? Horse surfing in my mind. Horse surfing in my mind because that memory motivates me. You see how that can happen? Now, this is really important, guys. Memory motivation can be used for good or evil. Okay? How can memory motivation be used for evil? And this is new.
Embarrassing memories.
Well, I mean, we can get there. Okay, so how can it be used for evil? Okay, it can be used like this. At the wake a couple of months ago, a rider came up to me. She goes, Stewart, Coach, please help me out. I had a bad crash recently with my horse. I can't get over it. I keep thinking about it. Y'all see how that can happen? Okay. Now, understand this. She is using memory motivation. She's thinking of a memory, but it's a negative memory, and it's motivating her in a negative way. You see that? So memory motivation can be used for positive or negative, for good or for evil. So this is really neat. So I'm talking to her, and I'm like, you know what? I've got a really good idea. I'm going to help you out. I said, every time you think of that negative memory, I want you to quickly replace it with the best memory you've ever had with your horse, right? So I asked her, I said, what's the best memory you've ever had with your horse? What are we going to replace it with? And she goes, none. Like that. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood the question. Okay, I'm like, what is the most amazing experience you've ever had with your horse? So she goes, no, I understood the question. I've never had any good. And right then I'm like, oh, liar, y'all know you can't live with horses and not have great memories, right? Okay. So then, right about then, her girlfriends were there, and one girlfriend goes, wait a second, remember that time we were in Mexico and we were galloping on the beach and the water was spraying and we were like, yep, yep, yep. And she goes, oh yeah, that was outside. And then her other girlfriend was like, remember that time we went to Massachusetts and we did 100 pace, but we didn't know what 100 pace was, but it was so cool. And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Understand this. Evil memory motivation can be so strong, it can blind you to all the greatness, all the good stuff. You see how that can happen? Now understand this, positive memory motivation is just that strong. If we're focusing on positive memories, positive emotions, guess what? We forget about the negatives, okay?
What is our homework too?
Oh, I love that question. When is our homework too? You're just shaking your head like, oh. Tomorrow after our class, are you going to be asking me for your homework? Okay. Okay, hang on. Stay focused. We're getting through this. Okay. Now, riders, how many of you have ever done this before? If you haven't done this, I want you to YouTube it tonight or tomorrow night. Okay. Have any of you ever taken the mental focus test, including a basketball team and a gorilla? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Couple of us have. Okay. This is the way it goes. I want you to watch it tonight. It's a test to see how well you can focus. This is the way it goes. There's one team of 4 people. They're wearing white shirts. They have a basketball. A team of 4 people wearing black shirts. They have a basketball. You are instructed to count the number of times the white team passes the ball back and forth to themselves. You know, it should be pretty easy. The white team stands in a square this close together, right? They're getting ready to pass. Then the black team runs in and they start passing their ball around. Now the shoe ball's going and the black one is going, you're like this, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect it, and you're focusing. Then the screen goes blank. And it says, did you count 16 passes? And most of us go, good boy, I got it, 16 passes. Then the screen goes blank, and then it says, but did you see the moonwalking gorilla? And you're like, what? And then it plays again. Well, you're so completely focused on the ball, guess what? A man in a gorilla suit walks to the middle of the screen. He's in the middle of the ball, passing around, big as can be. He looks right at the camera, he waves, he turns around, and he moonwalks off the stage. And 80% of athletes do not see him. And it's a man in a gorilla suit moonwalking, and you can't see him. Guess what? As riders, we need to learn to focus our focus on the correct thing. We need to focus our focus on the positive rather than the negative. Let me prove this to you guys. Sit up straight. Let me show you something. This is pretty cool. Riders, you have 10 seconds to do something. Quickly. I want you to look around this room, and I want you to tell me everything that is green. Look around quick. Find me the longest list of everything green. There's jackets over there. There's picture frames. There's what is that? There's there. There's a duck. There's a duck. Dog. There's a picture over there. Look behind you. Look outside. There's a little bit of grass. It's not green. Don't get that. Tree. Look harder. 2, 1. Close your eyes. Tell me 4 things quickly that are pink. Quick. All right. Guess what? Guess what? I made you guys look so hard for green. Guess what you couldn't see? Anything else? That rider, but you understand this, guys? That rider was looking so hard at the negative. That rider was looking so hard at the crash. She couldn't see anything else. She couldn't see the fun she had in Mexico. She couldn't see the other things. Memory motivation can be you are in so much trouble. You're going like to the corner with the hat. So riders, guess what your next piece of homework is? I want you all to come up with your memory. I bet you some of you have it in your head right now. I want you to come up with the greatest, coolest thing you've ever done on a horse. And really, riders, do believe this. I believe that our sport is unique because of the relationship with the horse, and therefore I believe that our memory motivation is stronger than other sports. Like you never see a tennis player like distracted. You know, the skier draw hard on the ski. Right? But then again, you never see like a skier yelling at the ski because it's focused. No. You're a horse. It's water. Go. Okay. Our horses make our sport crazy, but they make it pretty crazy cool, don't they? So riders, I want you all to come up with a memory, a great memory. The next time you feel nervous or tense or anxious or upset, what are you going to do? You're going to take a deep breath and you're going to replay that memory in your mind. Perhaps you play the memory the same time you play your song. Perhaps you play the memory at the same time you play your song and push the button. You know what we're doing here? We're just coming up with some tools that can help us stay focused on the button. You know what? That is such an awesome answer, okay? Sometimes we're supposed to work hard. Today, with one rider, I told the rider to work soft, right? Who is that? Sometimes the harder we work, like in a lot of sports and in school, we're rewarded for hard work. With horses, because we're rewarded with grace and suppleness and communication, those sort of things don't often get better the harder you work at it. I told you to work soft, look at the camera, I thought that was great. Work soft at this, don't work hard at this. You know what I'm really saying? I want you to pick the first one that comes to your mind, because that's probably the one. Okay, the first one that comes to your mind, it rose to the top. Now we may have many, so you know what we do? We create a playlist of memories. Maybe one memory is really calming, okay? You know, like you see yourself, oh, I remember this time I was laying in a paddock, and I was like laying on the ground, and I had like a loose lead line, stole that from the club of food when I did it. Okay, and I could smell I could feel the sun on my back, and I could smell the flowers, I could hear my horse munching, and he was so happy. That is such, yeah, they're doing roll, right? But that one is like a really good calm memory. That would be a great one to use when you're like tense and hyper, you know, that would be the one. But when you're really bored and unmotivated, maybe you need to push something. You know what I'm saying? So I bet you we all have many. You make a playlist of memories as well. Just like a playlist of songs. So you say to yourself, oh, I'm really bored right now. I need an energetic song and an energetic memory. I'm a horse surfing, party rock anthem. Here we go. All right? The whole point is our memories and the songs, those sort of things, they pull the great stuff out of us. It's in there. We just need to pull it out. But do remember those guys. Memory motivation can be used for the good or evil. Do you see how she was looking at the negative and that blinded her to the positive stuff? I bet you if you guys are thinking, you know, your horse surfing story, I bet you can't even think of it. Just let it block it out. Can I give you guys a couple more before we wrap up? Okay, great. Let me do at least one more. It's called desensitization. Okay, and what it means is this. Identify something that makes you nervous. Then instead of avoiding it, run at it. Okay? So for example, one rider in a recent clinic, she's really cute, she goes, Coach Stewart, when I compete, I get really nervous competing in front of big groups of people. So in our class today, do you think it would be okay for you to schedule my class when no one's